Good morning. Happy Thursday, March the 7th. We're into week 7. A couple things this morning. I wanted to do a little bit of administrative stuff about grades and schedules and stuff. And then I want to jump into Unit 3, which is instruction manuals, which are kind of fun. So I'm going to share the screen immediately and go on over here and show you what's up. So the first thing is I've looked at some of the How Stuff Works articles. They're some of them really good. I'm learning a lot. I'm a little behind on grading, so I'll get them done this weekend. So I changed a couple of things on the schedule for this upcoming week, which I'll show you in a second. But I will get them done. So if you need to go ahead and upload a draft, go ahead and do that, because I won't get to it until Saturday morning. So that's fine. So don't worry about it. Second thing is about grades. If you're worried about gradebook, about your grades, it's right here. The gradebook is right there. If you do not see this, it means you're not officially a member of the class. So, or you're not logged in. Be sure to log in. If you're logged in and you don't see this, go up here to course profile. And there'll be a button here that says join now. And you click on that, and then you can immediately visit the course site. And then this link will be live. Now, your name might not be in the gradebook immediately because I have to go in and manually add them. But I check periodically to be sure that people are in the gradebook. Okay, so that's where the grades are. And the interim grades will be up by Sunday night, which means I've changed a little bit of the due dates on the schedule. In other words, I had originally had the revised version of How Stuff Works due on Sunday, but I'm pushing it back a week just to give you time. And there's plenty of there's plenty of time because there's not a lot of coursework this first week, or at least it's not heavy. There's not a lot to do, so that should help a little bit on that. So again, they're looking pretty good. I'm going to make comments and send them back to you on Sunday, so they won't be due for another week. All right. So in the meantime, what we're doing is we are jumping into Unit 3, which is instruction and user manual. So this is a fun unit. We're not doing recipes, even though I have peanut butter and jelly sandwich there already anyway. But we're bombarded with instruction and user manuals, and there's a little bit of difference between an instruction manual and user documentation, which we'll kind of look at. And it has to do with audience. There's not a surprise. Instruction manuals are generally for the end users, and they can be, depending on your audience, they can be general public. Lego has got great user, instruction manual because there's nothing in there but pictures and colors. And so it makes it really easy to follow. And then there are the more technically heavy user documentation pieces that are used in technical fields. Now you get to decide which one of those you want to do. Whether you want to do an end user thing or you want to do a user documentation for a technical thing for the work that you do or that you're planning on doing. So you get a choice of that. So this is how this is going to work. It's going to take us about 3 weeks, and then we'll jump into the project itself. But don't panic about that yet. Just enjoy this one. All right. So like I said, so here's the schedule. So first we're going to just watch this wonderful video on Perusall about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I got to pull this down so I can show you. Okay, it is right here. One person's already. Instruction manuals seem really simple. They seem like they're sort of a no-brainer, but they're much trickier than you think. And so we're going to play with that idea this first week, starting with this how to make a PB&J sandwich. So watch this, make comments on it if you want to. I used to do this in class live, bringing an enormous jar of peanut butter and some utensils and a loaf of bread, and chaos would ensue, as they say. But now somebody else has done it better than I could do it, so it's a lot of fun. So watch that, and then the next thing you'll do is to read this Creating Effective Instruction Manuals, which people already jumped on and started reading it. And there's two parts to this. Instruction manuals and user documentation. And so it kind of will walk you through which is the best thing to use depending on what you're trying to explain to somebody. So we've been explaining things as a sort of, as an extended definition of how stuff works. Now you're going to explain how to make something, how to put something together, how to use something, right? So it's kind of pulling along with the definitions, and now we're doing hands-on things, right? So that's what we're going to be, that's what we're doing, and this is all the perusal for this this unit, right? So for this week, you just watch that, and when you get the revision Sunday night, if I don't have them done earlier than that, do the revised how stuff works, and then I'll go back in and look and put a grade up for those. Make sure you're registered in the class and join the class in the grade book, and then read and annotate those two articles in that assignment. And then here's the fun thing. This is something that I've done in person and synchronously. Never done it async, so this you guys are my guinea pigs. This is my trial run here. I want you to write a little instruction manual. Give somebody instructions on how to draw something simple. Now, people have done everything from how to draw a mouse, how to draw a lamp, very simple. Okay, so you're going to write the instruction, the computer screens, whatever you want to do. It's not a drawing activity, like I said, but it's an exercise in teaching people how to do something. So, and we'll show you how hard it is to actually do this. So write step-by-step instructions for somebody so they can, for them to follow, so they can draw it and put it in this folder, the drawing folder. Right, so that's this week, and then next week, let me go to the schedule here. Just get on the whole 2 weeks worth of things stuff. Okay, so you're gonna put this up, and then next week, everybody's gonna go in and pick one, and follow the instructions exactly. And if you can, take a photo of what you drew and upload it into the folder, and then sort of explain what happened. Were you able to do it? I had people had cats that had, noses that were this long. It can really be kind of fun. So it's following these instructions as closely as you can, giving us a picture of what you ended up with, and then explaining what happened when you followed those instructions. Okay. And then after you do that, then you go back and find the one that you uploaded into that folder and take a look and see what the person or people did. With your instructions, and leave them a message. I think it's a very instructive, kind of fun activity, and should show you that you really have to do more rather than less when you're doing instructions. Okay, and then after you do that, you go to the Padlet and you tell us what you want to do, an instruction manual or user documentation about. Okay, no food recipes. We're going to stick with something more professional than food, although I've gotten some great recipes in the past, but department says no food recipes, so no food recipes. All right, and then after that, you're going to go out and find a couple of examples of the kind of manual or documentation you want to create, and then analyze those. Say why you picked those examples, what was good and bad about them, what you might take away from that in terms of writing your own. And then after that, it's just a rough draft of the manual, and then the responses and the final draft. So we're doing 3 weeks on this, and again, it's kind of fun, and then we'll be getting ready to go to do the project, but that's not for a couple 3 weeks. It's like 27th, right? Now you can format it whatever way you want. Let me go back over here to the announcements page, because this link has got I just pulled up some on Google search, different kinds of manuals. So you can make yours look any way you want. This is a simple, fairly straightforward one. It's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. No pictures at all, which is fine. This one is pictures and no words. Okay? So there's that one. Then there's a combination of pictures and words. Right? It's always nice to have pictures because of the world that we live in these days. So here's another one it's got a combination of things. Okay, so when you start thinking about how you want to do a manual or a user documentation, go out and Google some, because you're gonna have to analyze some next week anyway. But this is what they can look like. They're all sort of all over the place. Some of them are folded up. This one's the classic one that you get that's all folded up nice and neat. It comes in the little box with the camera or whatever it is you bought. And some are, particularly on the job, there'll be big binders that will look like, have this as a table of contents. Might have lots of stuff in there, like this. So this is sort of the classic technical document for doing a user manual or instruction or user documentation. Okay, so this is a good example too. So that is what this link. I don't care. That's what this link is all about, is finding these things. So you'll be able to find this on here and see some good examples too. But how you do it is really up to you, and depends on if it's a consumer end user, or if it's somebody in the company who's a more technical person, or even if it's an end user who is very technically savvy. So really, that's all going to depend on you. So that is pretty much what we're doing this unit this week. Some people have been having a little bit of trouble getting OpenLab to work for them. If you accessed it before and it just sort of stops working, call the student help desk. And I think there's actually a student help desk. Call them and see if they've got any ideas on, because it's going to be a technical issue, and I can't help you with that one. If you've never gotten into OpenLab, well, you're a little late. But if that's a problem, send me a message on Slack, and we can work around it. I can always work around stuff. That's what Slack is for. So there we go. That's what's up this week. Look for notes on the How Stuff Works things by Sunday night, if not before, and get in touch with me if you got questions. And that's it. And I'll talk to you later.